Hey y'all, welcome back to Make It Dairy Free. I'm Larisha.
I am Andrew, and today is all about what to do with those Thanksgiving leftovers.
Yep. So this year is a bit crazy where many of us who have never hosted Thanksgiving before are being thrown into hosting Thanksgiving for the first time, which means all of the leftovers stay right here in our house.
I'm not even a fan of leftovers, to be honest with you.
If you haven't been with us for a little bit, then you know that there are a lot of foods that Andrew doesn't really seem to care for, and I can say after over a decade of us being together that we are finally making a smidgen of progress in the leftover department.
Well, ultimately for me, honestly, I think it's more the word leftovers. Wasn't it like a show, The Leftovers? Like that's
that HBO show.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe
you
that's
didn't like leftovers way before that show came out.
But either way, they named the show The Leftovers because it just doesn't sound good. So obviously other people think like I do. It just doesn't sound good. But you know, my mom sends us home with like a ton of leftover stuff. I don't know. I feel like it just gets to the point that you just have so much food. At some point, you're just like, well, what do I do with this? At this point,
you don't want to keep having like the same plate like over and over again. Like I have my like vegan turkey here and my mashed potatoes here, and like it's the same thing.
Thanksgiving
over and over.
on repeat.
Right. So we figured if we were feeling like this, then some of you guys were too. I mean, it's hard enough this year trying to figure out what we're making if you know you've never hosted Thanksgiving before, but now we have to figure out what to do with the leftovers too. Like it's just too much.
Yeah, because that Thanksgiving is literally just you and whoever's in the house at this point, right?
Right.
All right, so for this video, what we thought we would do is kind of try to turn this into a little bit of a competition. Somewhat lighthearted, very wholesome.
It ain't wholesome. You're totally going down here, and I got $50 on this.
That ain't happening.
Yes, it is. So what we're gonna do, we have 6 recipes to show you how to use some of those Thanksgiving leftovers that you have in your fridge right now. And he's gonna make 3, and I'm gonna make 3, and I'm going to win.
So I'm still looking at this camera because I want people to know this ain't happening. Like, you're losing 100%.
Let's just show them how we make this.
All right, let's get into it. First up for me is breakfast, because I'm 100% about eating every single one of your meals. So thing I thought of was basically putting a spin on breakfast with a sweet potato pie cinnamon roll.
I thought you just said we're making breakfast. Isn't that a dessert?
So before I was rudely interrupted, okay, basically I was trying to think of a way we can use, like, you know how we always have like these last few pieces of something, some type of like cake or pie or something in that nature. So the idea was to use that up, and ultimately when you think of breakfast, it's always like you could have either a sweet breakfast or you can have a savory breakfast. So I figured just pairing these two up was like, I don't know, a no-brainer.
Yeah, and we also were like talking like when we thought about like cake. After we made those, like we have that like birthday cake milkshake.
Yeah.
So like if you made cake for Thanksgiving instead of pie, then you could totally, like, we'll link that in the description too. Like you could totally make the milkshake instead.
Yeah, no, that's 100% another great one. So the dough recipe for the most part is on our website. We have the whole recipe on our website, but for the dough, you're actually gonna be taking parts of the dough and you're gonna be putting it into the actual mixture. So this is gonna mix the pie and the dough together in order to make the, I guess you can call the pie being somewhat of the sugar that you would typically put in the dough, you know what I mean? One of the things I really like about incorporating the pie into the dough is that it really helps with like the softness, that like texture that you get you know, in the final product.
Yeah, and I like the fact that, because we crumbled the crust into the dough too, and well, you did. And so there was like little crunchy pieces throughout it, and I don't know, like that texture, we make a lot of cinnamon rolls, and just that difference in texture a little bit was just something that like elevated it to like a whole nother level.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know, it's so amazing. Because it was my recipe, of course. But
somebody come get him.
But other than that, the next thing, basically you're just letting that rise just like you would do normal dough. And then from there, you're pretty much just rolling the dough out, and then you're taking the pie, whatever pieces you have left, and you're pretty much just gonna separate the crust from the actual pie, and you're gonna smear that pie onto the dough, sort of like you would do the butter in the middle before you put the cinnamon sugar mixture.
Right.
And pretty much after that, all you're doing is crushing up the rest of that crust that you separated onto the the smeared pie, roll it up, slice it, pop it in the oven, and then in a few minutes out pops that goodness.
Yeah, and I think what was cool too is that for the frosting that we put on these, which we didn't show in the video, but it's in the description that's linked below, is that you put graham crackers in the frosting too.
Yes. Yeah.
But also like in the post it also describes like if you don't have sweet potato pie, if you maybe have pumpkin pie, you can do the exact same thing with that. But we also describe in the post about if you don't have any pie and you wanted this type of idea, how you can roast or boil your sweet potatoes and then like spread that across. I think we recommended mixing with like a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah.
And then we just crumbled vegan graham crackers on top of it. So
we also have a graham cracker recipe, so you could follow that if for whatever reason you're having a hard time finding graham crackers. Oh my God. Graham crackers. We should edit that part out. Oh God. We're gonna move on to the whatever she's supposed to be saying next. It's not that funny. You need me to get you some water?
I think so. All right, so I don't have a breakfast because he's not playing fair. But when I thought of a leftover video, I thought of Thanksgiving dinner. So I thought of dinner recipes. So my first recipe is actually going to be a Thanksgiving leftover crescent roll ring. And so we actually saw this video go viral, but it wasn't vegan whatsoever. And so when I saw it, I was legit like, I am going to veganize this. And so luckily, in case you didn't know, most crescent roll cans are accidentally vegan.
Yeah, thank goodness for that, because I love me some crescent rolls.
It's like legit one of your favorite things.
Yeah, like I would have like 5 of them on my plate and just some broccoli and be good.
He's not lying. I am basing this off of what people traditionally make for Thanksgiving. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your crescent rolls.
Is that a shot at me?
What?
Did you just take a shot at me?
How?
What do you mean what people traditionally make? Is that like they don't traditionally make sweet potato pie?
No, I wasn't saying that.
That was a shot at me.
No, I just meant like the traditional things, like a turkey, vegan in this case, mashed potatoes, stuffing, like that's what people normally have. Anyways, you take your crescent rolls, you are going to put them into a ring overlapping the edges, and then you are just going to layer them up with pretty much whatever leftovers you have. So what we did was we put dollops of mashed potatoes down, and then stuffing, and then vegan turkey, and then some cranberry sauce. And then after you do that, you just take one end and you fold it over, and then you bake it until it's done. We found that it took a little bit longer than a crescent roll package said to make it, and obviously that's because of just the moisture from the things that are inside of it.
Yeah.
But once it's done, you literally just serve it with some warmed gravy in the center of it, and that's it, you're done. And it was so good, the crunchiness of the crescent rolls, but they were soft and warm, and everything just comes together. And
yeah,
I think we may just serve Thanksgiving dinner like that next year.
All right, so for my next one, I'm going on to lunch because, as I said before, I'm all about all of the meals instead of just dinner. It's not like people just eat dinner only, but you know, someone might just be a dinner person.
I mean, I'm totally though that person that eats like cold pizza for breakfast. Like that's me. So I would eat that crescent roll ring for breakfast. Like
Nah, I completely get that. So, I mean, for this one, basically what I wanted to do is kind of just make something that was easy because it was going to be for lunch, and that's typically what you want, right? Something that was easy, something that was quick, but also wanted to add maybe just that little nostalgia feeling to it. So I went with what I called like a mac and cheese grilled cheese.
And I mean, I know when you first presented this idea with me, I was like, I'm all about like carbs on carbs on carbs, but this is one that I wouldn't necessarily have thought to do.
Yeah.
So I agreed that it was kind of creative.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. To make this one, basically what you're doing is you're taking your refrigerated mac and cheese, and then in a skillet, you're pretty much just putting like a little bit that you know would fit roughly, you know, pretty good on a sandwich. And the reason you're doing this in a skillet is to pretty much just heat up the noodles, but that leftover like clumps of cheese and stuff that's on the noodles, it actually like chars it up a bit, so it's a little crispy, which I think is really cool in the sandwich. But think about if you microwave that, right? It would just be kind of soft, which I didn't think was as great.
Yeah, and I think the skillet too like helps the cheese melt better. Vegan cheese is notorious for not melting very well, so
True.
the skillet definitely helps there too.
Yeah, speaking of, you know, vegan cheese, we also add a little cheese into the pot. So in the skillet, I think we did the Dea mozzarella cheese because we usually have that for our pizza. But honestly, you can mix that up and do any cheese that you wanted. But we added that in there and then pretty much started to stir that up until it started to kind of fold all over the cheese.
Yeah, and I know that you just kept this like really simple with, you know, just the mac and cheese and the bread, but
yeah,
it's another thing where it would have been good if you would have like thrown in some like chopped vegan turkey pieces in there. Like you totally could have made it something else.
Yeah, you definitely could have added, you know, a little bit of things here and there inside the pot that would have certainly spiced it up a bit. But as you said, I wanted to keep it kind of simple,
right.
Just with whatever I had. But from there, basically after you have your cheese melted onto your mac and cheese, basically what I did is I, you know, cleared the pan. I started to butter my toast, and then I just added the ingredients right in the middle of the toast. And from there, just like you would make any old grilled cheese sandwich, you kind of, you know, sear the bread on each side until it's nice and crispy.
Yeah, it was really good.
Honestly, really good.
I'm not supposed to say it's good though.
You can if you're being honest.
All right, so my sandwich is so much better because I literally use all of the leftover things. So it's not just one thing. And I didn't just take the best side dish, which is mac and cheese. I had to use everything else. Oh. And so I win the sandwich category.
You realize I'm still sitting right here.
What I did was I started with a hoagie roll or a sub roll, like some type of deli roll, and I toasted it to start, just literally under a broiler for a couple of minutes. Don't burn it because it goes fast. And then I just layered reheated leftovers on top of it. So we did vegan mashed potatoes. We did some cubed turkey. Well, no, we sliced it. You could cube it, I guess. So we sliced it for this one. We were using a vegan turkey that had stuffing inside of it, so it's already there, but if you didn't have one like that, you could throw stuffing inside of it. Yeah. And then we just put some cranberry sauce on top of it, and then after that, we just drizzled it with gravy. And I mean, it sounds so easy, and it literally is that easy. There's nothing complicated about this, but the toastiness of the roll plus all of the ingredients, like it just makes it so much better. And you could totally do this if you have leftover dinner rolls instead of like having like a hoagie or sub roll.
Like a slider or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And you could totally also like you take his mac and cheese and add it in there so you have all of the leftover things, and then it's just that much better, and then you really just win this competition because you have everything.
You are not winning that way. Come on.
But that's it. That's all you do for this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple. I admit it was pretty tasty as well. So, no, good idea.
I will say just one thing before we close out this part was that with the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the cranberry sauce in this one, that it's not something that you could like make and then let sit for a couple of minutes. Like you really needed to eat it right away because it started to get soggy if you like left.
Yeah.
So if you are a new mom, you really just need to hand the baby over to someone for 3 minutes and be like, listen, I'm eating one hot meal today, and just call it a day. But you'll enjoy this one.
So for my last one in this competition was basically to use mac and cheese again. And what are you shaking your head for? I don't know if it's me, but I feel like we have a lot of mac and cheese.
Yes, we do, but mac and cheese is like my favorite side dish, and you just like ran with it.
Okay, but we still had mac and cheese.
We do have a lot of mac and cheese. It's one of our kids' favorite side dishes. It's one of our favorite side dishes. We've made mac and cheese 3 different ways on our website. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
We like mac and cheese.
Yeah, there's mac and cheese everywhere. Oh, and I forget what I was gonna say. But so this mac and cheese though, this is the type of mac and cheese that pretty much, I guess you would have to use the one that was like in a casserole dish. You know how you have the baked one? Yeah. So I think you would have to use that one.
I do think that if you froze the stovetop version, that like put it in a casserole dish and froze it and then like scooped it out into a ball, that it would still work.
Yeah, maybe like packing it together, putting it in, yeah, no, that it would.
Yeah.
But for this one, pretty much all you're gonna do is make a wet mixture, which is just like a flax egg mixture. You could use like yogurt or something like that. You just want something that's wet and it's gonna help bind what is gonna be now your dry mixture, which you're also gonna make. And then from there, you're just gonna use a cookie scoop, or just some type of like ice cream scoop, something like that, or even a spoon, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Something that you're just gonna carve out, pretty much just little balls of mac and cheese, and then you dip it in your wet mixture, bring it over to your dry mixture, dip it in there, make sure it's covered really good, and then from there you throw it inside of the pot, let it fry for, I want to say maybe we did like a minute or 2, but after that minute or 2 and it's nice and crispy, take it out, let it cool, and you're pretty much done.
Yeah, and we didn't try it, but we talked about it that you could probably totally do this in an air fryer as well, because it's basically just, it has a crumb coating around it, so there shouldn't be any issue with putting it in an air fryer.
True.
So if somebody tries that, let us know if it worked out. But I'll give this one to you, that I think that this may have been my favorite one out of all 6 that we did.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Cut.
I can rewind it, it's fine.
Lastly, we have a pizza, and you can't go wrong with a pizza. Anytime I can't think of what to make, I think of a pizza. You can literally throw anything on it. It's like a taco shell. Like, there's not a combination that you can throw together on a taco shell or a pizza crust that you could literally go wrong with. Well, maybe there's a few combinations that wouldn't go well together on a taco shell.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I was definitely thinking it.
So to make this, we start out with our normal pizza crust, which we will link in the description below. And then you're just layering your leftovers. So we're using gravy as the sauce instead of a marinara sauce. And then we're just doing dollops of mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce and cubed turkey, vegan turkey, obviously. And then you literally just throw that into the oven. You can sprinkle, oh, I forgot to say the cheese. You need cheese on pizza.
Yeah.
We're using, we use mozzarella cheese in this. And so, but once you have all that together, you're literally just throwing it into the oven and cooking it.
I noticed you said we a few times.
Oh,
so just forgive her, because she's used to, us in combination making something and talking about it. There wasn't no we here. So if you didn't like her stuff, you ain't blaming me too. This is all on her.
I think it's hard because like when I write the social media posts, when I write the blog posts, like it's always, when I write emails, like it's always like we.
Yeah, nah.
So we've never done like a competition style video.
True.
So it's always been we. I I always laugh when I watch back like our normal videos where like it's one of us.
Yeah.
Because even then, I say like, today we're making, and it's like, actually, I'm the only one making this. But I still do it like every week. I don't know.
I think that's probably just inclusive of probably who you're talking to at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as our audience, our family. You know?
It's always funny though.
It is, not 100%.
One thing that I did want to mention about this pizza is after we made it and we tried it, we would actually recommend that you probably add the vegan turkey cubes like halfway through the cooking process, just because it's seitan usually, which is what vegan turkeys are made out of, and it's already been cooked for a long time, and so it has a tendency to dry out.
Yeah.
And with how high your oven temperature is to make a pizza, it just dries it out even quicker. So we would recommend you adding it halfway through instead of like adding it all at once like we showed you in the video how to do.
Sure.
Also, just one last thing is that if you don't want to make a leftover pizza like this, you can steal his mac and cheese, and we have a mac and cheese vegan pizza on the website. And so you can say that the pizza idea was mine, and you can make vegan mac and cheese pizza instead.
So she's having a bit of memory loss here.
Why?
Because that mac and cheese pizza was also my idea.
No, it wasn't.
But okay, if you say so.
Was it your idea?
I'm 100% sure it was mine.
I thought you just came up with the idea to add jalapenos to it.
What?
No?
That was it? Okay.
Okay, well.
I'm bitter now.
We came up with mac and cheese pizza.
She's the boss.
All right, y'all, that is all 6 recipes. We hope that you liked every single one of them, but there has to be a winner here. And so
Gotta be. Clearly.
we hope you'll comment down below and let us know which recipes you like more and who you think was the winner of this competition style recipe video.
Yeah, and if this is a video that you pretty much think you like, we could do more of these where ultimately we kind of go head to head to try to come up with something to do with food. But also, let us know if you try either of these things out. Again, don't forget to hit us up on Instagram, tag us, let us see your work.
We'll have to do like a chopped style where like you give me a basket of stuff and I give you a basket of stuff. If they like this type of video.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't make anything with a basket.
Why? Are you gonna give me something hard?
Isn't that the point?
I thought it was supposed to be like easy and hard stuff. You're supposed to give like a can of green beans and like potato chips or something. Like it's not supposed to be like jackfruit and mushroom. I can't even think of anything right now. Anyway, we hope you guys like this video. We hope that you give it a like if you did, and also subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. And we will see you guys soon.
Peace.
Bye.